Hello and welcome or welcome back. I'm Lydia. I'm an accent coach for professionals and performers all around the globe, here to teach you communication confidence. Today we're going to be focusing on accent tips for Korean speakers. So the sounds that are particularly challenging if you are a native Korean speaker practicing your American English. Over on my Instagram, you would have seen a reel talking about some of the sounds that I think are the most tricky for Korean speakers. So be sure to follow me on Instagram at Accentuated Speech. And today I'm going to go a little bit more in depth on those sounds I was talking about. But before we get into it, be sure to subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss any more accent or speech tips from me. Also, please let me know in the comment section if you've been finding this accent series interesting and if there are any languages that you would like me to talk about in the next video. Okay, without further ado, let's get into the 3 sounds that I think would be the most difficult for Korean speakers practicing their American English. First up is going to be the F sound, or this F consonant. And this one in particular gets confused with the P sound because they both use the lips in different ways. The P sound, which you're probably more familiar with, that happens when the lips are quickly separating and we're releasing our air. It's a very short sound that we're not able to extend in any way. That is where things are different for the F sound. So for F, we want to think about the upper teeth connecting with the bottom lip. I'm not biting down on my lip necessarily, but by connecting the teeth and the lip together, we're able to create this little bit of friction for the air. And that's where we're able to actually extend this sound. So the key difference, again, with P, it's a very quick p release of air by separating the lips. The teeth don't really affect the sound. But for F, we want to make sure that the teeth are the thing that are helping us create that long release of air. Next is going to be the short vowel I. You may be more familiar with a really common vowel E, which is this long, flat vowel. E, I don't need to open my mouth very big at all. I have this pretty flat positioning here, and my tongue is hanging out comfortably in the bottom of my mouth. We want to change this for the I vowel. So from that E position, I want to open up just a little bit taller and let the front of the tongue drop down just slightly. That little shift is going to allow for the sound to change from E to I. And we also want to keep this sound short. So where E is naturally a little bit elongated, I consistently stays short in our speech. Right now, it might be a little challenging for you to hear the difference between E and I just when I say them by themselves. So one thing that can help to establish these as 2 different sounds is practicing in the mirror, looking at your mouth shift between E and that I shape and making sure that we have that difference in length with the sounds, and slowly we can start to establish these 2 vowels as unique sounds. And lastly, let's talk about the sound Z, and particularly with this J sound. Z, Z is this long consonant, and I'm able to extend this sound because the tip of the tongue, the front of the tongue, is not actually touching my gums when I pronounce this Z. We want to think about the front of the tongue curling up and coming close to the gums, but still having enough space in between for the voice to hiss through here. We're gonna feel a lot of vibrations on the front of the tongue when we pronounce this Z sound. And again, we're able to give it some length because the tongue is never actually touching the gums here. Now for that J sound, which is probably familiar for you, the tongue is touching the gums when we pronounce J. So that's what gives it this short length, and that also helps us create this separation between Z and j. So when we have z, particularly at the beginnings of words, we want to make sure that the voice is connected right away. We're feeling those vibrations on the front of the tongue, and we can give it a little bit of exaggeration to help us hear the difference from words that start with that j sound. And there you have it. Those are the 3 sounds that I think are pretty tricky for Korean speakers practicing your American accent. Give these adjustments a try, and let me know in the comments if you found these tips helpful or if there are other sounds that you have questions about. Thank you so much, and I will see you back here again soon.